Yes.
your health, your physical health, your mental health, your emotional fitness, right? Of
Uh-huh.
course, the people around you, your relationship with your finances, your relationship with, just your career, just life in general. Everything you can think of is about how you relate to it.
Yes.
So, as a personal performance coach, pretty much anything that somebody comes to me with, you know, and I'm talking about people that are fairly emotionally stable people. I'm not talking about the exception to
Oh
the
yeah.
rule, people that need, serious psychiatric help or,
Yes.
whatever. But generally speaking, people that are just feeling stuck or challenged or, just really need some perspective and some help with goals or navigating some challenges. For those people, it's all about, okay, what is going on in the main aspects of your life, and that's going to be how are you feeling emotionally, how are you feeling physically, how's your health, do you have any kind of a spiritual connection, something that you
Yes.
lean into. So how are you basically performing personally in all of the important areas of your life? And we kind of end up looking at each one of them, no matter what the initial issue is, because they're all connected and they all affect each other.
Yes. Yes. You hit that right on the head. Good Lord. We have got a great guest with us today. Loree Bischoff joins us today. She's a personal development coach, which, by the way, that as they say in the wrestling business, that promo you just cut there on the fact of what is a personal development coach is the best thing I've ever heard. You're a holistic health coach. You also are the host of, and I love this, We're Talking Shift. It's a tremendous podcast. You also have a great book, Common Sense Happiness, and the website, of course, LoreeBischoff.com. Let's start with the holistic health coach.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me a little bit about the whole world of holistic health. I noticed that probably the last, I don't know, 5, 6 years, more people are getting into the whole holistic medicine and finding alternative ways to fix their health other than going and getting all the pharmaceuticals and all the nonsense.
Right, right. Yeah, that's been a passion of mine really since started in my teenage years. My mother kind of got us started thinking a little bit about being eating healthier, and so that
Yes.
would have been like the 70s. Then rolled around the 80s, which is when we had our children,
Yeah.
and then I really got into it because I thought, well, I have now, I'm responsible for two humans, and so what are my priorities and responsibilities as far as bringing them up in the very best way I possibly can?
Yes.
And the most obvious part of that is what am I feeding them? So I just dove into health and food and holistic health even back then before it was trendy.
Yeah.
I was just educating myself about it. So then it just seemed like a natural part of coaching, because really if a person comes to you and they say, or to me, I am really struggling with my relationship
Yeah.
with my spouse right now,
Yeah.
and we're on the brink of a divorce, but blah blah blah, or I'm going through a divorce.
Yeah.
Okay, we can work through all of that. However, if your health and what you're eating is sabotaging you so that you don't feel well,
Yes.
you don't feel motivated, you're waking up with sugar hangovers or other
Uh-huh.
hangovers, or if you're not giving yourself the things that you need physically to be able to rise to the challenge and clearly think through your options and your choices and what you want to do, then you're just really sabotaging yourself. So,
Yes.
so that's how it fits into my business that way, because everyone should be concerned with their health. To me, your emotional health and your physical health is pretty much like, if you don't have that, I mean, what are you doing? I mean, nothing's going to be good, right? You could win the lottery, and if you don't have your mental and emotional health and your physical health in line, what really, how you're not going to be that happy. Even if you win lottery money, your consciousness isn't going to
Yes.
allow you to be happy. And that's actually those are actually true statistics. I believe, I forget the number, it's around 76% or something like that,
Yes.
of people that have won large sums of money, won lottery tickets, and that 70 something percentile reports later on that they are more miserable than they've lost it all.
Yes.
Number one, they don't maintain
Oh, yeah.
it, and
It's all
they're
gone.
and they're worse off than they were before. So that's what I mean. It's just like one area of your life affects the other. So if you don't get your mental and emotional fitness and your physical fitness all up to speed, to support your own growth and evolution as a person, you just kind of keep, swimming around in circles.
We have got a tremendous guest with us today. She joins us live here on Skype video. Loree Bischoff is with us. Check out LoreeBischoff.com for more information. Now, with you being in Wyoming, is there a big trend for healthy living and healthy eating and everything, since essentially, everyone in Wyoming is spread out?
Right? Yes. We are in the least populated state in America. So social distancing is a way of life here. You don't even have to try. So that's easy. I think that there's always going to be pockets of people that are going to be, really into doing what they can for their own personal health and wellness and well-being. But I think that, overall, if you compared it to, say, California, where it's, avocados and chia seeds all day. No, it probably doesn't compare. The percentage of people here are probably not that health oriented compared to that. But overall, there's some other things that factor in. There's a lot of other ways that people are healthy here, because it's much more of there's a lot of it's a lifestyle that's just different. There's a lot
That's cool.
It's very hardy. It's a very, you have to be somewhat hardy to live in a climate like this, where it's a lot of wind. We have seasons, and winter and spring can be pretty harsh and long. So people are very hardy and healthy, but maybe in a different way.
That's pretty cool. I'm glad that you're not the only one out there doing healthy living. I'm glad that everyone is kind of picked up as you said earlier, kind of before it was trendy. So tell us about the website, LoreeBischoff.com. You've got all sorts of things going on over there.
Yeah, I like to. I like to put out all of the things that I am passionate about, and the things that I'm interested in, share that. Yeah. So obviously, coaching, I love that. I've been doing that for 12 years now. So, if you want to find out about that and coaching with me, all of that information is on there. I love the podcast. That has been going really well and growing nicely. Thank you. So that is all about, We're Talking Shift, and it's all about really, things of value for people in all different arenas. I like to bring on guests that are, teachers or experts or professionals, people that are using their expertise and their experiences to bring value to other people.
That's awesome. So why did you decide to put the podcast together? Was that just the next step after writing a book, or was it, maybe you had some audio equipment laying around and you're like, we might as well put this to use?
Well, we have audio equipment laying around.
Yes.
My husband's been podcasting now for a while. So that's there. So that was kind of easy. It's not like I had to go out and, invest in a bunch of equipment. But really, I was kind of encouraged by my husband, by Eric, a couple of years ago. He started saying, you need to do a podcast. You should be reaching a larger audience with your messages.
Yes.
And I thought about it for a while, and honestly, I was like, "Oh, I don't know." The same old fear about something that you are unfamiliar with. I'm like, I don't
Yes.
know. What do I have to? Who's going to want to listen to me? So
Yeah.
it took me a little while, but actually, when I started it with a co-host,
Oh.
and yeah. So the first few episodes, if you go back very 1 through 12, I think, back to the very beginning, I have a co-host, a super cool woman. Her name is Candace Parisi, and she's a psychic. She's an amazing
Wow.
intuitive, and we met a few years ago, and we were in a group scenario, and she didn't know me, and she looked at me and she goes, "You need to be on the radio, or you need to be doing something. You need to be like some sort of radio thing." And I was like, well, that's interesting, because I had been talking about and
Yeah.
thinking about the idea for a while. So cut to about maybe a year later, we started talking about doing it together. So the
Wow.
first few episodes are Candace and I, and then she decided it wasn't exactly her cup of tea, so she was
Yeah.
going to continue doing her own thing. And I said, well, cool, no harm, no foul. I'll just, the train left the station. I'm going now. So
That's right.
I just kept moving forward with it. And here we are, 80 episodes later.
So, who have been some of the more interesting folks and different topics that you've had on the show? Because I've listened to a good portion of these before we got you on here. Who talk us through some of this?
Okay. Well, for the part of your audience that, I don't know, might be wrestling fans,
Yeah.
I talked to Medusa
That's
a while
awesome.
back, and that was really fun. She's, pretty amazing,
Yeah.
impressive woman. A couple months ago, I talked with Diamond Dallas Page,
Yes.
and that was
And
fun.
and
He's got
I've
a lot
interviewed
going
him
on.
before, and he'll talk your ear off.
Yeah, it's easy with Paige. All you got to do is say hello and sit
Yeah.
back and relax until it's time to say goodbye.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you just
yeah,
you do the introduction, and then at the end of it you're like, well, we're up against the clock, we're out of time, thanks for being on.
yeah, he's awesome. But those are some wrestling related. I think let's see. I loved interviewing Kelly Noonan, who
That's
was the
awesome.
producer of the documentary called Heal, which,
Yep.
and that's all about health and wellness,
Yep.
and that's a big passion of mine. So that was a really great interview for me. Tim Ryan,
Wow.
the yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with Tim Ryan, but he is A&E did a special
Yeah.
on him a couple of years ago, from Dope to Hope, the Dope
Yep.
Man. He's a huge force in the country, talking about helping with recovery and
Yeah.
recovering addicts. Also Jennifer Jimenez, the same thing. She's a former
Wow.
actress, professional model.
Yep.
She did all kinds of movies, and at the time that I spoke with both of them, separate times, but since then they've married, so they are now
Wow.
they are this amazing, beautiful couple doing wonderful things in the country in that arena. That was very cool. So I've got one coming up that I'm very excited next week with Todd White, who is the founder of Dry Farm Wines, that I'm very excited
Wow.
about. It is the most amazing, cleanest, purest wine, I believe, on the planet. So that's going to be really fun. That's coming out next week.
Now, since you've had him on the show, and you're the host, and you're in, essentially in the radio business at this point, did he send you some wine?
Not yet, because we're actually scheduled to talk on Monday. So
Yeah.
fingers crossed. That's going to be so amazing. He's going to be like, I am so grateful to you, Loree Bischoff. I'm sending you a case
See,
of
that's
Dry Farm.
always how it works.
A girl can hope, right?
We have got a tremendous guest with us today. We're having a lot of fun with Loree Bischoff. You can find her LoreeBischoff.com, and you've written several books, but the one I want to talk about, Common Sense Happiness. Tell me a little bit about this book. Take me through the writing process for this book.
Well, the writing process started, I'd say about 2008,
Wow.
2009, and
Yeah.
but I just, there wasn't really a strategy other than it became something that I decided I just needed to do for myself.
Yes.
I and I needed to do it because I thought I was feeling very, very fortunate and grateful. I've had a really great life. That doesn't mean that
Yeah.
I haven't had my own challenges and that
Oh, yeah.
tragedy hasn't befallen, members of my family too, just
Yeah.
like everyone else. But I was thinking really deeply about it one day, and I thought, why there have been a lot of people that have had the same things occur in their lives, and they're just so unhappy and so miserable, and it's just it's it saddens me to see so many people in pain when you don't have to
Yes.
be. And so I thought, what are just a few simple techniques or a few simple principles. I call them the 5 life amazing principles that I know have worked for me in order to make me feel like I'm in a state of happiness.
Yes.
Even when you're navigating some challenges, and it doesn't mean that you're giddy and happy all the time. It doesn't mean that. It just means that, but your overall state of being is one of happiness, and then you
Yes.
navigate all of the feelings that everybody is bound to have within that state. Does that make
Yes.
sense?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I just wanted to share that, and I figured I would write the book, and who knows what will happen with it. Maybe the worst, or maybe the best thing that'll happen is, every member of my family will get a copy, and maybe that's all that'll ever happen. I don't know. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to put it out there, and we'll see. So that was 2011, and wow, I can't believe it's like 9 years later.
So, what were some of your goals for the book?
The goal was to actually just write a book and to finish it
Okay.
from start to finish.
That's
Number
good.
one was just to do it, because I mean, how many times do we have goals and ideas,
Oh,
and
yeah. And then
we
they just,
we entertain them, but do
yeah.
we ever actually take action and complete and finish it, right?
Yes.
So part of it was, all right, I want to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to finish it. So that was goal number one.
Okay.
But the intention then, beyond the goal, the personal goal of just writing and finishing and publishing it, was the intention was to be able to give people maybe some principles that would help them just be more content and find some more peace and joy in their lives.
Yes.
And so the intention was, whoever reads this hopefully comes away feeling a little bit more hopeful and better equipped to design the life that they want.
So, if you had to do it over again, is there anything you would include or not include with the whole
Mm-hmm.
book?
Oh yeah, yeah. And if I think about that, it drives me nuts because because now it's 9 years later, right? So
Yes.
as every day, week, month, year goes by, I keep learning and growing and learning and growing and learning and growing, which means now I go back and I look and I'm like, oh, I should have added this. I should have said that. I should have, maybe I need to do a, common sense happiness, part deux. I don't know. So,
That's
but
awesome.
and then I think, maybe I just need to leave it rest. And if I feel the urge to put the new things that I've learned as I've grown into a
Yeah.
new book, rather than trying to go back and tweak the old one. And I have a feeling a lot of people go through that.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you're a person that's growing and evolving, you're bound to look back on your, initial works and go, oh, I could do it better now. I could add,
Yeah.
you always feel like it's not quite as good as it could be. So at some point, you just have to be like, it's fine. It's fine.
It's
And if there's
fine.
new information, it's just fine. Just walk away, move on, don't worry about it.
We have got a tremendous guest with us today. Loree Bischoff joins us here on Skype. And you have done a little bit of everything. You've hosted podcasts. You've wrote a book. You've got an ebook, a cooking book that you've written.
Yeah.
Is there anything you haven't done?
Yes. Yes, there is. I have yet to zip line. It's on my.
Oh my God.
I really want to try that because it scares the crap out of me. So I got to do that. But no, and the cooking book, it's actually I call it. It's called the Food Print Plan, and
Yes.
it's less. There are some recipes in there, but it's really what it is a blueprint and a guide to help people create a healthy eating lifestyle. So
Awesome.
there are exercises, coaching exercises,
Yes.
tools in there that I use with my clients because dialing in your health and wellness, specifically your eating lifestyle, is
Yes.
it's not just behavioral; it's mental too. So there's some shifts that have to happen up here.
Yes.
All the shifts have to start in your thinking. So you have to get your thinking in the right place before you embark on any kind of a dietary change. Otherwise, you are doomed to failure. You'll always go back around to your habituated ways.
Okay, so this brings up an interesting question here you as far as the food and the eating. Um, when you and your husband were living in I think it was Stanford when he worked for SmackDown for the amount of time.
A minute?
Oh yes. Uh, did did you do a lot of cooking at home, or was it all takeout the entire time? And if it was takeout, how did you adjust everything when you moved back?
Yeah, so when we got to Stanford, I'll tell you what, it was a lot of fun in as far as the eating goes because we're big foodies. We like good food.
Yeah,
We cook a lot at home, mainly. Now, I'd say, well, especially now,
yeah,
99.9% of our eating is cooking at home. But even before we went to Stanford, in Cody, Wyoming, we don't have the variety of stores
yeah.
and restaurants that you do in a larger
Oh yeah,
city, obviously. So, so we pretty much, and being a health, pretty much a health fanatic, if you
yeah.
will, not extreme, but
Well, yeah,
primarily, it's all about health. So it's not easy to do that eating out. So most of it's done at home. But when we got to Stanford, we love eating out, we love
yeah.
restaurants. So when we got to Stanford, it was like, you let us loose kids in a candy store because now here we were. Now here we were in the city where we were in walking distance of pretty much anything that you could
Yeah,
possibly want. So we found our few favorite places that were great
yeah,
restaurants near us within a block or two or three away. And we had a blast for probably the first couple of weeks. We just were eating out,
yeah,
but still, we're not junk food eaters. I'm not a
yeah,
fast food eater. I just don't like it. And I don't like the
yeah.
way it makes me feel. I'm very greedy about the way I feel.
Yes.
When you're a person that wants to be feeling optimally, and you're willing to be very greedy about it, you're less willing to compromise and eat shit that you know is going to make you feel like shit. They just,
Yes.
not going to do it. It's not worth it. So
So there
I
really wasn't
enjoy
much of an adjustment from going there
the,
to coming back.
the yeah. The only adjustment was we did enjoy eating out more frequently,
Yeah,
but after we kind of got like some of it out of our system, and then we started cooking a little bit more. I did.
yeah,
Eric was working a lot, so I
yeah,
did most of the cooking.
yeah,
But yeah, so then when we came back, it was really not. I'm very I have very specific things that are non-negotiable that I do 6 days a week.
yeah.
And
That's
that
great.
is, there's a certain kind of coffee and there's a certain way we have it every morning. There
Yeah,
are, there are protein health smoothies every morning.
yeah,
There are salads, raw food every evening.
yeah,
There are just certain things that don't change except maybe on Saturday or maybe on Sunday, and we might do something fun or have a
yeah.
brunch or, whatever. But for the most part, about 6 days a week, it's pretty much the same thing, and they're non-negotiable. And that way, when we do decide to have, a champagne brunch on Sunday or do something different that
Yeah.
wouldn't normally do, like go out for pizza, it's no big deal because it's the exception to the rule.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, see, I wondered how that,
Yeah.
changed, and then if you had to get back on track and how hard that was, but you kept everything pretty disciplined. That's pretty cool.
Easy peasy. And honestly, when we left Stanford, we didn't come right back to Wyoming. We left there about a week or two before Thanksgiving in November.
Yeah.
And we didn't get back to Minnesota until the end of February, because we went down to Florida.
Oh.
And there was no rush to get back to Wyoming in the winter.
In the winter, no.
No. So we said, let's head south. Let's pack up our dog and all our shit and head south and go to Florida. Our son and his wife live in Clearwater, and we have some friends there. So we went down there and hung out for a few months until about February, I believe, and then we drove up made a pit stop in Minnesota for about another, I don't know. I lost track of time now. Who knows what time it is these days?
Yeah.
The days have all run together, but we stayed up there. We have family there. We're from there. I was born and raised there. So we hung out there for another 4 or 6 weeks and visited family. And then we eventually made our way back to Cody, Wyoming. So
awesome. We've
really only been here for a couple months now.
Wow. So I guess before we let you go, because I know you've got a busy Friday, I appreciate you taking as much time as you did today to chat with us, and we're definitely going to have to do this again. This was a hell of a fun time. Run it down for us. How do we get the books, listen to the podcast, everything?
Thank you. So everything, of course, is on LoreeBischoff.com, and Loree is Loree. Bischoff.com. The podcast is We're Talking Shift, and that's
which is
iTunes,
a great
Google.
title, by the way.
We're Talking Shift. Yes, iTunes, Google, and Spotify.
Yes.
Yep. So the book Common Sense Happiness is available on Amazon. And the food print plan is a download. So it's an ebook. You can go right to my website and you can buy it right there and have an instant download and start creating your healthy eating lifestyle just like that.
Awesome. Do you have audio books of either one of these books?
Yeah, actually, I have not on the food print plan yet. And that's really one that I think would be hard. Yeah, because there's tools and things you can do on that, but Common Sense Happiness is audio, and that is on
I'm assuming Audible and those places.
I don't think it's Audible, but it is on I just looked at this the other day too, because I hadn't looked at it in ages. It's on Barnes and Noble, and it's on, is it you got me
Oh
there.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know it either, but I think I know what you're talking about there.
Yes. If somebody wants it badly enough, go to my website, contact me, and I will send you links.
Fantastic. Well, Loree, this has been a pleasure. I would love to do this again here in a couple months. Sure. And thanks for joining us today. This has been fun.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure, James. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Definitely. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. Thank you. Appreciate it. There she goes, Loree Bischoff. And you can get more information. Also, Loree B Life Coach, if you want to find her on the old Twitter machine, as they say. And we are going to take a brief time out. And when we come back,